how he would have wanted to go.
Yep.
Tell my wife I died doing what I love. Breathing in water.
Being handcuffed to a
Handcuffed
child.
Bedtime Babble.
Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Oh.
Were we watching Indiana Jones?
Oh my God.
I don't know what day it is, Tom.
I was more surprised how just above average it is.
Yeah, but I think that's the best thing you can say about the film is, it's better than I thought it'd be, but it's still not great. I totally would have started playing my PlayStation about half hour ago, an hour ago.
Yeah.
So this film starts in World War II when the Nazis capture a young Indiana Jones.
It's the very end of World War II, isn't it?
Yeah, near the end, yeah. And Oxford archaeologist Basil Shaw, as they attempt to steal the Lance of Longingness from a castle in the French Alps.
That's it, announced to everyone.
Everybody wanted. It's a special secret coming through. The spear is supposed to be the spear that was used to pierce Jesus' side and be magical. So Mikkelsen's Jürgen Voller informs his Nazi superiors that the lance isn't real. He ended up touching it and then realises it's not real, has no magic.
Und wie Ihrer Meinung nach sagen wir sowas? Mein Führer, tut mir leid, wir haben die heilige Lanze nicht mitgebracht, aber hier. Die Hälfte einer Apparatur, von der Sie noch nie was gehört haben. Sagen Sie, haben Sie Hitler mal kennengelernt?
Have you ever met him? He's actually...
You're going to turn up with this shit?
Really nice.
But he has found half of what he calls the Archimedes dial, which is an Antikythera mechanism built by ancient Syracusan mathematician Archimedes.
Not actually.
Not in real life.
Not historically
That
correct,
is one thing I will give these films credit for, is they do take inspiration from real world stuff, although they end up sort of twisting it a bit.
He needs his whip and he needs his hat. And adventuring we will go.
Indy and Basil managed to escape the Nazis and in the process steal the Antikythera dial. And then kill, or so we think, Jürgen Voller.
Oh my God!
That caught him, didn't it?
It did rather.
Jesus.
I mean, and it's
Mads
fair to think
Mikkelsen's.
it, isn't it?
It is fair to think
Because
it.
the man takes a signpost to the face at 90 miles an hour.
A piece of metal that is bolted to bolted hits his head as he travels past it
At
70, 80 miles an hour and gets knocked off the train.
And you assume decapitated.
Yeah.
Horrifically.
Must have just destroyed his head.
Yeah,
it would have just burst like a balloon.
You'd have probably found bits of his skull in his guts. The force with which you think that thing hits him.
You probably just wouldn't have found much of his head.
I feel like maybe he was meant to have like a really mangled face, and I feel like Disney might have gone
too much.
We don't want, like, there's a whole thing going around about how villains shouldn't have disabilities, like a scar on their face because and I understand the idea behind it.
But you can't hit a man in the face at 90 miles an hour with a solid thing and not have something.
Also, can we, and I notice this a lot now, and it happens on Disney things, I don't know where else it is, stop warning me about tobacco.
Contains tobacco depictions.
I was watching Emma Stone sucking and titties and muff and all of it, but it warned me about tobacco at the start just in case I was a bit offended by someone smoking.
Can't believe they've allowed smoking in this movie.
But they warned you against it.
It's true, actually.
Literally, they just shot Antonio Banderas in front of us, but they warned us that they were going to light up a cigarette. It's unreal.
I suppose Antonio Banderas getting shot in the face is not hazardous to our health.
During their escape, Indy is about to be hung by some Nazi soldiers.
Yes.
And then it gets interrupted when a bomb falls through the ceiling and lands in front of them all. And then the bomb eventually blows up. And then he is just sent flying, but somehow he's fine.
That and him getting into the German car afterwards, which I thought was quite funny, is the most memorable
thing about
action sequence in this, I thought. You think he's escaped,
Yeah.
And he sits in the car and he's all ready to go. And then the officers get in the car with him. And I'm like, oh, yeah, it's one of those awkward moments that Indiana used to have in all of the films. I was like, yeah, all right, cool.
Should have done that in the first place.
Well, he didn't expect
No.
the second pull, did he? You never do. You think you're all pulled out.
Yeah, I mean, that whole beginning bit isn't... It's probably, thinking about it, the best part of the film. I didn't really think it at the time, but
no,
because it's not that standout, but in this film, it's the most standout part, and because you're watching a slightly uncanny valley Harrison Ford as well.
So CGI, all of that. It's like playing Uncharted. The de-aging of Harrison Ford, I thought, looked all right.
It does for the most part. Sort of as it wore on in some of the better lit sequences, it does get a bit. It slips into the uncanny valley a little bit.
Oh, his face struggled there.
Yeah.
The rest of it, fine. You can quite.
I couldn't watch a whole
believably-
movie like it.
No, I don't think so. But you can quite believably think that that is young Harrison Ford.
Stupid blue-eyed boys decided...
The rope looks incredibly CGI. Like, his face is pretty well done, but the rope is remarkably
It's all a bit
CGI
it's a
looking.
bit rubbery.
Yeah.
It's
convincing
it does
enough.
a good enough job.
Yeah.
His voice, however,
It is a bit.
I like to be alone.
they should have completely got someone else, because it does feel like The Irishman, where a very old Robert De Niro goes out the shop and then beats a man in the street, and you're like, that's an old man.
They trained AI on basically all of the other Indiana Jones films.
I mean, there's a lot
And
of
anything
info.
else
It's probably why it stands up as well as it does, because they've got so much data,
Yeah.
so much visual data on Harrison Ford across however many years. What is it, 50 years?
Turn on the news. It's Moon Day, Mr. Jones.
What did you say it was?
It's Moon Day.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
1969.
Nice.
So we fast forward to 1969.
Nice.
An old Indy is about to retire from his job at Hunter College in New York City.
That's better. Because my back was starting to fucking hurt. Oh,
Blimey.
hear that?
That's
That's
it.
my bones.
Was it?
Getting fucking
which
old.
bones was it?
Everything hurts. Oh, and here's my favourite young adventure. Hurrah.
And at this point, we learn that he and Marion are about to be divorced.
Oh,
What's his name?
Marion.
What, she dead?
No, that was a
She's divorced,
divorce
isn't it?
papers.
Oh.
Hence why he was drinking in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
What, man can't drink in the morning?
Well, generally, no.
Yeah,
Unless there's
should
some
really
spe-
have it for breakfast. Tom.
Unless there's some special occasion like going on holiday or getting a divorce.
So that's not the lifestyle I want to lead, mate.
Just non-stop alcoholism.
I'm sorry that they got you with time.
Yeah, you've gone woke. During one of his lectures, Indy's long-lost goddaughter turns up in the back row. She approaches him afterwards and tells him that she's looking for the dial, the Antikythera dial.
Because she wants to be famous.
Because, yes, something like along those lines. Also, her father is Basil, who we see at the beginning of the film. And it's sort of...
Basil
sort of
from
amongst-
Oxford.
I'm a professor at Oxford.
Knew it.
Basil from Oxford, the archaeologist. And
He looked it, didn't he? I said it when I saw him. I went, that man is an Englishman.
That is legitimately where the MI5 and whatnot would recruit people.
But he looked it before he even spoke.
You judged him before he did anything, Tom.
And I nailed it. So sometimes that's not bad to do.
But I mean, it was Toby Jones, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's like
I know.
He's very,
I know
very
also.
famous for
I know.
playing
Yeah.
sort of various.
But it's like.
But yes, you
it's
very much look at him and
so-
go,
Yeah.
he's going to be English.
He apparently has been driven mad by this device that they came back from France with. And she wants to find it. And he tries to dissuade her from doing so because why do you want to do this? Blah, 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 blah. He takes her back to the college so that she can see the dial and then she legs it with it.
Stop! Sorry.
Really?
She just wanted the thing. Now she's got it.
Yeah, I just didn't realise she was willing to let him die because of it. What an unlikable thing to do.
She doesn't come across well in that first
No, she doesn't, because
sequence, does she?
Yeah, it takes a while to...
warm up to her.
Well,
And
yeah,
even-
Yeah.
It takes a while till you're like, all right.
Sort of tolerant of the fact that she's still in it.
She's a bit of an arsehole
Even
to
though-
him
yeah.
throughout.
Is she going to fuck off without him again? You're right, she really is a prick, isn't she?
Yeah, she's not likeable in any way.
You could say that she might have assumed that they were police and therefore they wouldn't just shoot someone. But also, they were armed people who you didn't recognise.
No.
So you don't know that you've...
You don't know what they're after and who they're after exactly.
They are the Nazi henchmen, or the new Nazi henchmen of Jürgen Woller, who now goes by the name of Dr. Schmidt, who's been Operation Paperclipped into the USA.
And he is not dead.
Having somehow survived having his head annihilated.
He does have a small scar on his forehead.
Right. Is that the implication? Is that it? Is that what the implication is? He got that.
I took it as the implication, but I don't know if it just so happens that Mads Mikkelsen has a scar on his forehead. He survived the lamppost in the face at 80 miles an hour then.
I'm going to assume there's some mystical element to his return. If not, then yes, that's ludicrous.
This is, I think, out of everything, this is the most insane thing.
Well, the fact that his
More
head should
insane
get
than the fridge.
annihilated.
Yes, more insane than the fridge. Even though the fridge would have smashed him up inside, you're
Yeah.
like, you know what? If he's pushed himself, whatever.
Hi, it's Tom from the edit. I said things in the heat of the moment. Having rewatched the fridge scene once again, that is still the most ridiculous thing to happen in Indiana Jones. But the head banging thing was still ridiculous.
How'd you feel about the fact that he's on a horse?
He's on a horse.
Did you
I
not
can
notice?
believe that Indiana Jones can ride a horse.
Not ride a horse, just the fact that he's doing it through the streets of New York.
How do I feel about it?
Yeah,
In what way?
just...
Like,
Generally.
that's fun.
I
Like,
feel all right about it.
You're all right with that?
He stole a police horse.
Cool, fair enough.
Are you not all right about it?
I wasn't sure if you guys would object. I suppose he's not in a fridge.
You got a horse.
Are you equating riding down the street during a parade
In
on a horse with being shot across the sky in a nuclear explosion inside of a fridge? I could accept that if they use some mystical thing to make him come back. Because it's so implausible that he had a head after it.
Yeah.
That it's just like, oh, okay, you're just going to think we're all stupid then.
I mean,
guess.
it's also quite difficult because you're like, oh yeah, what happens? Like, really, like, could he fall and he's got like the Holy Grail and he sort of just pours it over his face? But it's like, but
his head grows back.
But his face would just be a caved, like it would be.
No, there's no thought available
There's
after
no
that
motor,
point.
Yeah, no motor function.
All
to
stops
get the
very
thing out of your
suddenly.
fucking knapsack.
Fucking hell.
Like, oh, Holy Grail.
They do also do a bit of a silly jump, Indy and Basil, when they jump off the train into the river below. It's also of a height because you see the height of the bridge. But you're like, you're probably not. You've probably broken some limbs.
Yeah,
in
however
that fall.
deep that water is,
Yeah,
that you're
what-
hitting,
however.
you're hitting it at whatever speed you're hitting it at,
Yeah.
and it's got to be
Just-
equivalent like 100 miles an hour hitting a brick wall.
All while his hat stays on his head.
He'd have no back. It's not a
Leather.
scratch.
He's got a leather jacket on.
Is that?
Motorcyclists swear by
You
it.
would, but you would to a point, yeah.
It would ride up.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I
It
completely.
would ride up. It
I,
would scratch
yep,
the shit out of his back.
movie magic.
Don't movie magic me.
I mean, his hat hasn't come off at any point. Oh yeah, it just pops off and it's just right next to him when he comes out the water.
Yeah, that came off. You happy?
Didn't go far though, did it?
No.
Oh, what? You want a scene of him searching for his hat in the water, do you?
I can forgive
Well,
it if
hold
the film
on.
was better.
The thing is,
Yeah.
though, is that we do say, oh, we're forgiving it, as though it's always been a thing. He used to lose his hat all the time. That was iconic. And now he does all these jumps and stuff. It's like, oh, hat's still on.
Just right next to him when he pops out of the water. Yeah.
Because 80-year-old Harrison Ford can't be rolling around after his hat anymore.
Something else from your apartment. It was under the bed.
Oh. A sticky hat.
Yeah, do you reckon he's got toupee tape all around the inside?
Absolutely.
So Indy escapes the goons with some help. Oh, and indeed the city with some help from our old friend Salah.
Who is only in it for
that. But well,
that
he
reason.
returns a bit at the end, but that's about
Still
it.
wearing his fez.
So he also tells Indy that Helena is actually a black market antiques dealer. And basically that's why she's nicked the device.
The only thing worth believing in ever is cash.
Money, cash holes. I'm from the hood, stupid. What type of facts are those?
And then Indy jets off to Morocco, having been set up for some murders by the goons.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you'd leg it, wouldn't you?
And he does indeed, to Morocco, to then go and find the device, not just to evade the law.
Yeah, how does he get out of that?
He just goes to the airport, gets on a
Yeah,
flight.
just goes to the
No.
airport.
I know how he escapes.
Oh, what, when he
How
comes
does
home?
he clear his name?
They don't imply, they don't suggest.
He just gets home?
He just gets home and it's fine.
Yep.
He's been away for a while, Tom.
Is it not on like a newspaper or?
I mean, you could argue that you don't necessarily see enough after he has come back and there are any repercussions. I guess you could argue that a little bit.
This is the second tuk-tuk chase I've seen in as many weeks.
Good for you.
There we go. There's an
Genuinely
interesting
is.
fact for everyone.
Is that on the pro list or the con list of the last 2 weeks?
The other one, well, I mean, this one hasn't been going for long, but the other one was more exciting.
You're not excited right now.
No. I think that's the problem with this.
Film overall.
Yeah, it's just not, so far, either of you feel particularly excited by it?
Yeah, my heart's going wild.
Oh, yeah.
Because it just feels like everything I've seen before.
Yeah.
Just chopped up, pureed, and then squidged into a new form.
But it's not even a new form, it's the same cake tin, isn't it?
Yeah. Just tastes a bit different.
Yeah.
Not quite as good as you remember it.
But it smells of the old cake.
Yeah.
Yeah, like instead of using real butter, they've got some marge.
Yeah, some spread.
And they went, oh, no one will know. And then slowly you replace all different things, and eventually it's not the real thing anymore.
Like the ship of Theseus or Theseus, however you say it.
Okay.
There's a ship and then they slowly replace every part of it. Is it still
to
the same
point,
ship?
Yeah.
It's fucking it's Trigger's broom.
Trigger's broom, yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to be less poncy about it.
So whilst Indy is trying to get back the dial from Helena in Morocco, Jürgen Voller and his goons turn up and steal the device from Helena. Old tricksy Nazis.
Can you not say Nazis quite a lot? Because I'm going to have to bleep them.
Ridiculous.
Call them something else.
The actual...
The bad guys.
Can you call them nasties?
The nasties, all right.
But make sure you pronounce the T. Oh, wow. Just goodbye, Antonio. He is a nasty man.
Voller manages to locate the second half, and he intends to travel back in time to 1939 to lead Germany to victory by assassinating Adolf Hitler.
In the fastest fucking tuk-tuk in the world.
Well, maybe the owner was like a tuk-tuk fanatic and sort of like gave it a new engine and, you know.
Funnily enough, in the other tuk-tuk race that I saw, tuk-tuk chase, he'd done exactly that.
There we go. This could be it. Could be the same one.
And it lasted about a minute, and it's very exciting.
So yeah, he wants to basically take over from Hitler and avoid all the mistakes, having seen it himself about what to do, so that they can win the war.
Which is really a dark motive. Like, if you think about it, to go back and say Hitler got it wrong, so I'm going to go back, assassinate him, do it all right, and essentially sort of carry out the plan tenfold.
Yeah.
Is really actually, it's a lot darker a motive than they really build into his character.
Asking you personally.
You're a piece of work, Doc.
Oh, no.
Like, he's not very good in this, Mads Mikkelsen.
Do you not think?
Not particularly. He's just not much of a presence.
Like, you know him getting smacked in the face on that train that maybe they would have given him some sort of mental personality that would have been fun to.
I mean, that should have decapitated him.
Yeah,
and because he is a nasty, it's just like, oh, that's enough character building you need to have because he's a nasty, so therefore that's it. Just put him in the uniform, you're automatically going to know he's a bit of a bad guy.
Yeah, he's got no sort of bad guy charisma or
no, he's
kind of
just a bit boring.
Yeah. I can't walk in the pissing rain. Let alone see where I'm going.
Yeah, but that's why you're never going to do that, Dave.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's the
not,
only reason.
It's not for men like you.
No.
They all take off in a plane, in a German plane, because they're off to 1939.
Indy's there with them.
Because they've put the device together and they found a thing in time,
yeah,
a rift in time.
Some things happen to get them to that point.
Yeah,
but all of them are
It's
largely.
fairly, I didn't care.
There are 9 muses,
The museum, the Greek word for the Great Library of Alexandria.
which, as we all know, has 9 statues supporting its roof.
We all know it.
As we all know. I knew it. I was waiting for them to catch up.
They've got the plane, they've got the uniforms, they've got everything they need to just sort of fly through this rift in time, come out in 1939, and execute your plan.
Oh, look, they're flying into the arsehole.
Into the Disney arsehole. Indy and Co are chasing after them to try and stop them, obviously.
Well, no,
Right.
Indy's not chasing after them. Indy's been
Indy's
shot
with-
and he's on the plane with them.
He gets captured and Helena sort of goes after to try and save him.
When did it start raining?
When the final action scene started.
yeah.
And a little boy, short round replacement
Oh, yeah.
person, who I haven't even bothered mentioning.
No.
'Cause it's just, all right.
Just another callback.
Just another callback.
Not done as well as it was originally.
Yeah. This kind of feels like a movie you'd see if you were at Disneyland and there was some, extended, come and sit down for a bit and we'll play an Indiana Jones thing that we've made just for you, for people in the park. There's too much lean on the nostalgia. So whilst they're on the plane, Indy realises that the calculations might be off because of continental drift. And as they come through the rift, you get the sight of the German bomber coming through, and then all these Roman ships, and then a battle going on. They think, obviously, there's a plane in 2,000 years before they've been invented, so they all think it's a dragon and start attacking
It becomes very Game of Thrones, doesn't it?
It does,
with
yeah.
The boats.
Really accurate firing of
shots.
spears.
Ooh,
Wow.
that's going to leave a mark, isn't it?
Bearing in mind they probably never ever have seen anything do what that thing was doing.
No, how quick it would be.
And how
And you'd have
quickly
to
it can move through the
anticipate.
air and
Yeah.
all of that stuff. But they're fine. They got it.
Yeah.
They got down pat.
Yeah, that's it. Smack the driver's hand. I always think that's going to correct it.
Obviously, Indy and Helena have managed to escape. The plane crashes, killing Voller and the rest of the crew. That's the end of him. They're kind of cool thinking, well, I've died in 215 BC.
Do you think that's what they were thinking?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Should have maybe stayed and checked his maths a bit.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be an astrophysicist.
But it wouldn't have mattered anyway, because we find out that it will only go back to that point in time.
so
it wouldn't have...
It wouldn't have mattered, I
No.
suppose.
All of that's just red herring.
Or at least that's what they say. It's never confirmed that it's a fixed deck. They say it's a loaded deck, but you don't actually... You never see the guy build it, and
No, but he says it.
No,
he comes
they do.
over and say it at the end.
So
he says
he
it'll
builds
only
it
come
as
back to here.
he builds
does
it
it?
as a device to get people from the future to come back
to help him.
And well, even just I think so you can see what the future is, because obviously that's quite a tool.
Is Mad Mikkelsen still alive?
doesn't look like it.
they
He's gonna take
burnt
his watch though.
Oh, that's what he was wearing. Circular, time circular, which means this always
And
happens.
he's found his own
Oh no,
device.
he's found his own device.
Previously, actually, before we get to the battle, when they're trying to find out where the second half is, they eventually come across his Archimedes' tomb. and find him and find his skeleton and find that he has a modern wristwatch on.
And on the side of the tomb there is dragons with propellers.
Yes.
Engraved.
Indiana Jones wants to stay there. He doesn't want to go back because he's studied this event for all of his life and is such a...
He said, I've got nothing to go back for.
Such a stand for Archimedes. Yeah, he's got nothing to go back for. There is also this undercurrent story of, because it happens around the time of the moon landings, just as the moon landing has happened. It's almost like the old being pushed out by the new.
The astronauts!
Yeah, and
as he's retiring,
that kind of thing being more exciting because his class are bored of him.
Like
when
the
he's
frontiers
talking.
have moved and your one isn't so exciting anymore. He's retiring, and it is there. I just don't think they do it that well. But that, I think, plays into why he then just wants to stay. And you would, like, if you studied history and ancient history for your entire life.
He's also been shot in the stomach or the shoulder.
Yeah,
and he feels like he's on the way out.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like when Bill and Ted met all those people, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're living back in the past where you want to be. That's what you want to see.
That's your
Go
interest.
For
you can see it firsthand. No one's ever done that before.
Yeah,
Blah,
it's
blah,
like
blah, blah,
Doc
blah.
Brown choosing the Wild West.
Yes.
You're meant to be here, Indy. Here.
Yeah, great. But she, for some reason, is like, absolutely not. You're coming back. I now like you.
Because you'll break time.
You know, as general standard sort of movie time travel business goes, that's you
certainly a possibility.
Well, the idea being
protect
that
stuff, and you can't have a paradox like that. Even though the paradox already kind of exists because he has knowledge,
and they've got
the
the watch,
because they sort of imply that the watch is how he's able to build the device. Because when they go back, he hasn't invented it yet.
No, he has. You see it.
Yeah, he is.
He's
He's literally
desk.
inventing it
At the
as
time.
as they're being shot. So no, I think the implication when they see the watch, don't they think he's done it? He's gone to the future.
Yes.
They think he has time traveled, whereas actually they have time traveled back. Given him the watch, or they found the watch on the. I don't know whose watch it was.
Voller's watch. You didn't see the bit on the side of Archimedes' tomb. The carvings were of an aeroplane.
How was that?
Yeah, there he goes. He's going to write it now. They were that airplane, which means that time is just a circular motion.
But Helena eventually just punches him in the face, basically saying, "Stop being so bloody silly," and she knocks him out and takes him back to 1969, where everything is fine.
Yep, no charges.
We reunited.
No longer a murderer. They just start fucking in the kitchen.
Then he puts his back out because he's 80 years old, and she pisses herself.
Oh. Step too far.
Still wouldn't be the worst sex scene we've seen.
Yeah. He's then reunited with Marion because they're just fine now.
Well, yeah, because he it was a life-threatening event, and I guess she went, "Oh, I do love you, actually."
Yeah, but we were talking about this before we started recording. They could have done that by just giving him some sort of bladder infection.
Yeah. Oh, good. I'm glad their divorce is resolved. That was a worthwhile story. I just
something more meaningful than this is the end of the film and this is how we want it to end.
Yeah. Got to bring Marion back.
We've got to bring Marion back so we can do the kiss me elbow, kiss me neck bit, which just doesn't really fly in the same way as it did 43 years ago.
Here. It doesn't hurt here.
Loses a little bit when they're octogenarians, doesn't it?
I think that's just ageism, Dave. I can't wait to see her tits. Going in, I thought Indiana Jones, oh God, those first three untouchable films, I had memories of them when I was a child. And then I recently rewatched The Last Crusade, which I think it's common to be that is the most...
That's probably the best one.
Oh, I thought it was most common that was not necessarily the
Last
best
Crusade,
one.
I
It
thought...
is for me as a kid. I remember thinking it was my favourite. But
no, that's the Connery one, right?
Yeah, I think Raiders is considered, isn't it, top tier. Temple is like off-piece somewhere going weird, but it has its fans.
Yeah.
And then Last Crusade is like, it was a last big hurrah. Not the best, but it was a nice send-off.
Yeah.
That was my view of Indiana Jones. Then they did Crystal Skull, and I was like, I don't think I really like
this.
No,
anymore.
it was good
like
until I remember saying to you before. It was good until he put the jacket and the hat on. It was a good setup, and it was like, oh yeah, I'm with this.
Yeah.
It's going to be, and they do the motorbike chase through the.
I liked all of that, and they had Mark coming along.
And then as
cool?
soon as they leave, like the university campus, it just takes a downhill dive, and then you get the ants and the swimming through the trees and everything. It's just like this is beyond sort of what's enjoyable. The Last Crusade is one of my favourite films ever. I remember going. My mum took me to the cinema to see it, and I remember just it being sort of the way. But like, so this is like the bit where they go under the catacombs. They go through the library and they find the tomb of an old knight or something. But it doesn't have any of like the nice touches. Like there's a bit where, in order to get into the catacombs, he breaks through the floor of the library. But as he does it, there's the librarian stamping the books, and you get the nice little touch of like, what's going on? This has got none of that kind of sort of
personality,
fun. Yeah, that's got all the beats. Oh look, here we are, another hidden tomb that we've had to overcome some stuff to get to, but it just lacks any kind of personality of its own.
My opinion of The Last Crusade went down a little bit. Not that it is a bad film in any way. It is a good film. I enjoyed myself. It's a thoroughly good adventure film with some standout set pieces. Like you remember them. Those I remembered all the big highlights from that film because it does nail so much of the action. Like those set pieces are so good. The start of it where young Indiana Jones is on the train.
Yeah,
like
it's River Phoenix. Isn't
River
it?
Phoenix,
Yeah,
and he goes through and he falls into the snakes, and there's every moment, every carriage has its moment. Like the rhino starts putting its thing. Like they think of how can we use? Oh, he gets his whip because there's a tiger.
Yeah.
Like I remembered near enough all of those moments, and I hadn't watched that film very much. There's a train scene in this. At the start, and it just goes by, and that's how I felt about all of this film, was that it just feels like it has action set pieces because it's got to. Like I don't remember them. I know they have the little cars, the little tuk-tuks.
Yep.
And they
have a chase.
But I couldn't tell you anything specific about it other than it felt too long. Oh, there's still tuk-tuk racing.
Oh yeah.
Perfect time for a piss.
Now there's two tuk-tuks.
I'm considering this.
Doubly exciting.
Who's doing this one?
I think we should break tradition and Tom should do it.
Yeah.
You might miss that. Is it still going?
Yeah.
It's the problem when you just have these solely nostalgia-driven projects, I think.
Yeah.
And it's just there to give the illusion of a Indiana Jones film. But because you've kind of already seen all this stuff all before in this setting, you're like...
Done better.
Oh. It's like...
It's been done better.
And with a more young, charismatic lead.
Yeah.
As opposed to...
And he's not awful in this, but...
He's 80
I don't...
He was
80.
79, I think, at the time of filming it, he was 79, then he was 80 by the time it had come out.
Oh no. That old man won't be able to take that shock.
The character is slightly sort of grouchy and cantankerous, but I think because he is now just older, it just seems like someone who doesn't really want to be there.
Your father thought this thing could predict fissures in time.
I know he's meant to be playing like a bored old man, but I'm getting bored listening to him. I'm not going to lie. I zoned out of so much of that. I like the character of Indiana Jones, but I don't need to have a dissection of Indiana Jones when he gets older. Like I've never wanted that as a film.
Yeah.
I want another adventure film. Nothing has really come close to how good Raiders and those set pieces are. Everyone goes mental about National Treasure. It's not great, but it tries to do Indiana Jones.
It's got that vibe.
It's got that vibe to it, and people want that.
That's why I like Sahara. Have you seen Sahara?
Yes, I like Sahara.
Sahara is critically panned, and quite rightly so, because it's not a particularly good movie.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun. It seems really unfortunate that a film like that can do it, And a film like this that you'd expect to be able to do, it just doesn't.
Yeah.
It's very dramatic to slide like 6 foot, wasn't it?
Yeah, take the lead, have him in it, but be slightly more of a peripheral character, but some mentor type.
But then that's what they tried to do in The Kingdom of the Crystal Skull with Shia LaBeouf playing Mutt. He was supposed to be the setup for
that almost like
or at least that's my understanding.
A passing of the torch, almost.
Yeah, but because the movie didn't do great, I guess, or I don't know if it was this Shia LaBeouf being Shia LaBeouf, or was this just kind of it just didn't
not
happen?
being in this.
Yeah, and I imagine Disney went, we don't want that attached to this.
Yeah.
So let's kill him. off screen.
Off screen.
Yeah. He's a pretty shitty archaeologist as well, isn't he?
Who?
Indiana Jones.
Why?
Well, because that thing's been sitting for 2,000 years under the sea.
Right.
And he's like, oh, I'm just going to burn it.
And what you want to do? Do you want to look at it, or do you want to be able to control time? What do you want?
Wow.
Right.
This film cost 387 million to make. That's estimated?
That's estimated. Is that including all marketing stuff, or is that just
I'm not
the budget
sure.
For the movie?
What I looked at didn't suggest it was or wasn't.
What if you could go back in time? What would you do?
The Trojan War? F myself.
Marketing is probably the vast majority of the.
But it's not normally included in the budget that gets published.
So potentially that's a hell of a lot bloody more.
Phoebe Waller-Bridge Morocco costume designed with upcycled fabrics by Stella McCartney.
Oh, no. That's good. Yeah. Glad they did that. I remember reading at the time that there was some reshoots because I remember that it didn't test well.
Where is he?
Oh, nice. The old hat. Is it in front of your face? It's not. It's a punch.
It made back 383 million, or just shy of 384 million.
A 3 million loss, and then if the marketing and stuff is
on top,
the usual double on top.
Yeah. I did sort of read some people say that part of the reason why this didn't do very well is because you're pitching it at an audience who aren't that interested in going to the cinema anymore.
Yeah, I watched this when it came out on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't pay to watch this. If it was on, I might end up watching it, but that's it. I wouldn't go out there, and it's almost like they've lost touch with, or just don't know their market anymore.
Yeah, I think that a lot with a lot of stuff they're doing. It almost feels a bit weird to see him walking around like that because you're like, oh yeah, like
it's so familiar.
Yeah. It almost looks like he's cosplaying himself.
Yeah.
It's like they're still operating in the 90s/2000s in many ways. Like a lot of our generation and older don't really bother to go because the novelty for us was because we used to do that, but then we all kind of thought, oh, wouldn't it be nice if I could just watch all these films at home?
Yeah.
And then that's what happened.
And then you introduced a service that allowed me to do it.
Yeah. The younger generations are apparently getting, because they're more into because they grew up with just being able to watch.
Yeah, so there's a
different novelty to the experience
them,
of going to the cinema. Whereas for us and older, we all grew up going to the cinema.
You had to go to the cinema.
Yeah.
That's the only way, more or less.
Otherwise, 6 months would go by.
At least
until
6 months.
you could see it on Sky Movies, maybe.
It doesn't honestly feel like we've been sat here for 2 hours.
I don't know.
Well, maybe you guys do. That's the only thing I can say for it. It moves along at quite a lick, albeit with very limited personality. Overall, I'd probably give it a 2 out of 5. Like there's enough going on that I didn't feel like entirely bored by it, but it's very flat and very sort of forgettable. If I was an action star, I'd be like fucking Statham.
Is that what?
In what way?
In what way would I be like Statham?
Yeah, in what way?
In the way that I would, I'd be quite balletic in my movement.
I'll give it a 2. There are bits that it's well made in play. Like it's not badly made, and people are giving it their all in places. Like I don't want it to come across that this is just like
Harrison Ford is not bad in it.
It's fine. It's bland. It's boring. There's a couple of nice moments. I did think the bit on the boat when she says to him, "Oh, what would you do if you could go back?" And he mentions his son and what he would say, and you're like, okay, it's a nice little bit of character and. Which, was fine, I guess, but the action's so forgettable.
Why didn't he do it back?
Probably because Disney said, he is doing what?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I don't think there'll ever be a time where I go, I will watch this over anything else, and especially for the amount of time that this is. Why is this as long as it is?
No, it is mental.
Is that it?
Yep. Looks like it.
Oh yeah, he's got to wear the hat.
He's got to wear the hat.
He's got to wear the hat on. Absolutely.
In front of the mirror.
Wow, how many writers? 4 for that. Wow. I don't need to sit through this amount. Like, stop. Stop doing this.
But for all that, it is still a 2, isn't it? It is just, it's just a fine...
I was close to doing 1.5, but I can't be bothered to do the half point on the thing. I enjoyed Antonio Banderas, and I enjoyed the fake Egyptian man.
Gimli.
What did you enjoy?
They just brought. You know what? They brought there was just a little something of fun and flair about them. Not loads, but just enough while they were on. Whereas all of this has just become a bit like I don't love any of them.
No. Much the same. 2, it is just instantly forgettable. Just like, yeah, it's okay. There's some nostalgic fun in seeing him go through the motions again as young Indy and sort of old Indy. Like you said, I would never go back to this.
No.
Just, there's no point. There's nothing memorable about it.
So Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny gets 6 out of 15. Popcorns.
Nah.
Thank you very much to our Patreons. Once again, you are supporting the genius that is in front of you.
You are You're supporting our art.
The slow rise of
dominance on YouTube.
Yeah, minor dominance.
Sure.
It's a shame. They should have. They just should have left it. They should with all these things.
I don't know if it's worse than Crystal Skull.
No, it's not worse than the Crystal Skull.
Yeah, I think that would be an interesting conversation because I'm not thoroughly convinced.
Has to watch.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a bit boring, a bit bloated.
Yeah, way over bloated. Yeah.
But, yeah, okay, it happened.
Yeah, but then I wonder whether Crystal Skull just hurt me more. Not because I wasn't so in love with Indiana Jones, but I liked Indiana Jones enough that I was like, oh, that's a shame. This is really shit. If they got this far, Dave.
Oh, definitely like the video and subscribe to the channel, and tell your friends. Join the Patreon. Support us with cold hard cash, and we can get some.
Because that's the only way we'll perform for you.
Tom will buy a jumper.
Tom will get a jumper, and we might get another light.
All right, you can have a pee. Goodbye.
Bye.